let's say you're a personal trainer for your friends, okay? You have one friend that wants your help and another friend that wants your help. So you're going to set them on two different programs. You're going to tell friend one to do a typical strength training program, like a 3x5, 5x5, 5-3-1, starting strength, just typical linear progression program, okay? Friend two, you're going to have him do all the new optimal lifts, good range of motion, good A to B, perfect muscle path, all that. So you're going to have two different friends doing two different things with the goal to build the same amount of muscle. And let's just say for sake of it that they have the same genetics, okay? Same muscle building genetics, all right? Who would come out on top on that? Real quick, I just want to clarify things. So hypertrophy is the actual muscle building itself, okay? The strength part of it is increasing your lifts as you go in the gym. So strength is a measurable physical output, and hypertrophy is your actual muscle just building, okay? That's the definition I'm going to be using. So friend one is going to be mainly doing about 6 lifts, okay? He's going to do mainly just compound movements, hardly any isolation. Your friend number two is going to be doing some compound movements and isolation, but to target the typical aesthetic muscles, you know, more of a capped shoulder, bigger sweep on the quads, a little more narrow waist, bigger upper back, upper chest, you name it. The typical things that you would think an aesthetic build would have, and that's what he's going to train. And to keep all variables the same. They're going to be on the same food, same overall split, same all of that, okay? So we're just literally going to be talking about what the outcomes are for your friend one and your friend two. I'm going to try to remain unbiased as much as possible. I've done both of these styles of training, and there's one I'm going to lean toward more, and you probably already know that, but hear me out. I'm going to still talk about both of them, okay? All right, let's talk about friend one. Mr. I'm training 6 compound movements, sticking to those, adding weight to the bar. Simple enough, caveman can do it, all right? What he's going to see after a year. His overhead press is going to be about 185 if you really pushed it. He's going to have close to a 300-pound bench, hopefully, a 400-pound squat, and easily a 500-pound deadlift, all right? Those are awesome strength standards, and he's going to hit those within the year with decent hard training if your friends are really on it, all right? But what's he going to learn and gain from that experience of doing one whole year of full strength training program, okay, without worrying about the perfect rep range, the perfect exercise, the perfect this and that? He just went in, put weight on the bar, progressed each week, ate at a surplus, gained muscle, gain size, gain strength. What did he learn on his journey? Friend one learned what his body is truly capable of. He learned that sometimes there are weeks where progress doesn't happen. He learned that sometimes your joints get achy. He learned that you need to be eating quality foods, and a lot of them, to keep strength going. There's a lot of virtues he learned strength training and getting to those strength standard numbers. Okay, enough about Mr. Strength Bro. What did your friend number two learn about optimal hypertrophy training? What did he learn? All right, so he learned that it is absolutely amazing to feel what it's like to get the perfect joint angle, perfect range of motion, and sheer pump and burn you can get from isolating a single part of the muscle. He learned that that's an amazing trait to have when building muscle. What did your friend number two use as a metric for progression? Since he didn't necessarily care about adding weight every single time, he wasn't your strength training friend who mainly focused on adding weight to the bar. So his main progression is going to be probably time under tension, staying in the set longer, slowing down the movement, using tempo, using supersets, doing everything he possibly can to fatigue the muscle in the fastest time frame possible. That is a really good recipe for hypertrophy, by the way. What the heck gives? These both sound amazing, right? Strength on one hand, size on the other. What actually gives with this debate between the two. All right, so here's the time for my bias, okay? Here's what I would tell a personal friend who asked me what the actual difference was, okay? Now, both hands, you're probably going to see the same amount of muscle growth, okay? There's evidence saying this one's better, evidence saying this one's better. Whatever. You're training, you're going to fatigue, you're going to build muscle regardless. Whatever rep range, whatever rest you're doing, does not matter on paper. The data says that. What I will say, however, is the person who spent the time doing the strength training, your friend number one, he's going to see so much different of a body structure change. He's going to have probably better joints, and his carryover to all the optimal movements is going to be insane. He's going to be way stronger at just doing whatever movement now, okay? So your friend number two doing the optimal way, he won't necessarily be as good as doing the strength training movements your friend one was doing. But your friend one can go to the optimal way and produce the same, or if not better numbers than friend two would. So I firmly believe that the strength training side of this is better. And as we know, it's way more fun to watch someone horsecock some weight. I used to do the optimal stuff quite a bit. I love the science behind it. I really do. I get into it. I've read a lot about it. And what I've noticed was I still got smaller. I would do everything to failure. I would do the best machines, the best optimal joint angles. But to me, I still lost size. And that's an anecdotal experience I have. And this is why I lean more toward the strength side, because once I started strength training, doing heavy movements with barbells and dumbbells and body weight, my strength and size blew up. So I like being more on the strength side of it, because I know I can go in the gym and still do all the optimal movements even better now. Who won in this situation? Well, everyone did. You had two friends that actually listened to your advice, go figure, and they both built muscle. So everyone wins in this scenario. You're training, you're in the gym, that's fantastic, that's what we need. But me personally, I'm leaning toward that strength side. And I have all kinds of other videos in my playlist talking about why you may not be building the most muscle. So recommend looking at those too. I have one where I talk about my 18 years of lifting, and that one talks more about the high intensity training as well.